TGIF Chicago. It's a big Friday pregame eve for the Bears' most important test of the preseason. Caleb Williams is going all in to become the next Tom Brady, all the way down to eating nothing but raw trout and salmon. Keenan Allen is reminding everyone that he can also be an all-pro target in the Bears' new Top Gun passing attack. The Bears are officially Hard Knocks TV stars, and Brandon Traxai brings us his full up-close report on a legendary Hall of Fame weekend. Friends, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the voice of the Chicago sports fan. This is Chicago Sports Podcast, Monsters of the Madhouse. So great to be with you, friends. We've got an action-packed, big-time football Friday night in Chicago on tap for you tonight. This is your boy from Iowa, Cleet Sue Campbell, along with big game Brandon Duplessis. And Brandon, we are also joined by the man of the hour, the man with the Hall of Fame power, the hitmaker, Brandon Traxai, back fresh from Canton. Fellas, how we doing tonight?
Doing good.
I'm good.
How about you?
Good guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Friends, this doesn't happen without you. We're so glad to have you talk sports with us tonight. Get in that chat room. Please share your questions and your thoughts. And we're rolling all the way till 10 o'clock with you tonight, friends. But let's talk about the news of the day with the man of the hour, Brandon Hyatt, our man in Canton. This segment of Chicago Sports Podcast, Monsters of the Madhouse, friends, is brought to you by NHL Hall of Famer and Blackhawks legend Chris Chelios's El Bandino Yankee Tequila. Experience pure tequila heaven today with El Bandino Yankee. Well, I tell you what, Brandon, the Punky LT, Brandon Trax Hyatt, was our witness to his NFL history last weekend as Bears legends dominated and starred in the epic 2024 NFL Hall of Fame class induction weekend in Canton. Steve Mongo McMichael, Devin the Windy City Flyer Hester, and Julius Pep Peppers all took their rightful places in football's house of legends, and Brandon, our guy Trax, was right there to follow it all.
Yes, he was, Trax, and congratulations, man, on a huge achievement, another achievement for CSP, but for you personally as well, man. And the question I got to ask you first and foremost is, what was it like to not only witness, but cover NFL history live in person as opposed to just on a podcast like we usually do?
Well, okay, so it's going to sound a little interesting, but a little different if you haven't experienced this before, like we have, basically, like from a consumer, I think you really can appreciate and really take it in and enjoy it. But as a producer of looking for, gem pictures and captivating, being able to bring that home to all of our, listeners and Chicago fans, that there was two things happening at one time, and both of them were really cool. And I got to see it on all of the people that were consuming faces, and it was a little bit different doing it this way. And it was the first time I ever been to Canton, but both were really super cool, man. I learned a lot this first time. We've been invited back, so that's super cool. And also talks with Kevin Warren about the media and press for covering Chicago Bears for the season. So it's definitely opening up other doors, and there's other things that play, different TV channels and media out there in Canton have reached out, and some really cool things are happening. Just trying to take it all in. But Brandon, it was amazing. I couldn't have done it without your guys' help and support, not just our staff, but also all of our followers. It was real special, really cool, and that was one thing I learned from Misty and a couple of the other stars of Chicago is the acronym ABC, always be cool. And that was one thing I definitely had to do, which I know you guys are going to ask me a couple questions here in a little bit, how I could actually be cool in a couple of these moments. But it's definitely a challenge, man, especially when really all we are is fans, right? With a microphone and a camera in our face. So You know, it was a couple points in there where I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Be cool, be cool. Am I cool? Do I look cool? Are you cool? Are we cool? What are we doing? You know, so there was a lot of that going on, Cleet. There was a lot of that going on, Brandon.
I
But
can imagine. They had a lot to take in, and friends, we'll be showing some photos as we talk to Trax about his Hall of Fame weekend in Canton. So many powerful moments, of course, the culmination of Steve Mongo McMichael's 30-year journey to the Hall of Fame, with chief among them. But for you, Trax, what was the most powerful moment? If there was one singular powerful moment, Trax, that maybe took your breath away more than any other over what happened on this historic weekend, what would it be?
I think it was finally seeing Mongo get his, you know, get his bust, see his bust, have it unveiled, and then everybody take pictures with his bust, and me being able to take a picture with his bust. Even though I'm still, if anybody's listening that was there, I'd like to see those pictures, because a lot of times at the party I didn't have my camera in hand, but I seen a lot of other people take those pictures. So if you're out there, I'd like to see those, please. It was, I think it was just that, and then see his family and friends and Team Mongo just really just, you know, photo finish, you know what I mean? That was it. And then all of the family, like I can't, all the guys, all 7 guys for the class of 2024, they were all super cool, chill, just, you know, family guys, man. And they were just taking it all in with their kids and their wives and family and friends and whatnot, giving special honor and praise, you know, to all the people that have been there since like day one, man, and all the stories. Patrick Willis carrying 5-gallon buckets with the rest of his family from his grandma's house to his, and just how everybody had a struggle, you know, and they overcame it. And for them to not even just like a pinch me moment, like they couldn't believe, like when they saw other Hall of Famers like in front of them, they were like, whoa, you know, you're here talking to me. You know, Emmitt Smith is talking, you know, to, he's a Hall of Famer. Now we're all like, you might miss the locker room, you know, vibes and stuff and camaraderie with your teammates, but now you are in a legend, immortal teammate of all of the Hall of Famers, all of the Golden Jackets. And it was super cool, man. It was breathtaking, and I'm very honored to be able to be there and experience that, you know.
Yeah, Brandon, I can't even imagine, and I'm based on, like, after what you just said, there's another question that I think I have to ask, and after the picture we just showed, I think everybody has to ask. How in the name of George Henry Hallis did you end up 4 seats down from the human greatness
Henry
known
Howard.
as MJ Michael Jeffrey
You
Jordan?
see me right there with the maroon shirt and the
Yeah.
media?
Oh, we see you.
Yeah, we see
Yeah.
it.
What is that lanyard? Yeah, with my media. So, and I'm uploading a picture of a picture that I had just taken of him, and somebody else is taking a picture of him from the other side and his wife. So actually, see that smile on his face? It's probably because I didn't confront him, because he was sitting in my seats. 8 and 9. I just got deboed by the GOAT, Michael Jordan, and his pretty wife. They took seats 8 and 9 from me and my buddy Eric. Eric is just to the other side of me in the black shirt. And we're both just, he was like, dude, bro, that's Michael
A natural reaction.
Jordan.
A natural reaction, I'm sure.
But dude, honestly, like I didn't know how to plan for this. I didn't know how to plan for the GOAT in my seat. Like literally and that's him looking at me and smiling, you know.
You should have fought him, Trax.
So this is what happens when this happens to you. The greatest of all times walks into an event. I doubt he gets scanned, you know, by security.
Oh, I doubt it. Yeah.
I doubt they ask for the ticket, because all of a sudden he steals the show and becomes the show. So he doesn't need seats. And for him to say, these are the best seats in the house, I'm taking these seats, that's truly an honor. That's really cool. And then when he left after watching Dwight Freeney, I gladly took my seats back. And I was like,
Right.
yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Go. After he was long gone. And he didn't
Exactly. Before you knew it, you added about 20 inches to your vertical after that encounter. Hey,
And it gets better because right behind me, I don't know if you showed that picture, Cleet, but right behind me, I kind of took like a weird like selfie picture. Behind me was what do you call it? From the Chargers, Harbaugh. Harbaugh was sitting right behind me, and a whole bunch of like freaking superstar freaking Niners were all there for Patrick Willis. They were all sitting behind me like this big Ayutapi or like Mike, the offense beast, dude, monster of a man, Samoan, shook my hand, super nice, chill guy. Pretty sure I was talking to Navarro Bowman, but I'm not 100% sure because I was telling him like we have like great immortal linebackers in Chicago Bears, but if I could ever pick a there's Bearman. That's the guy right there. That dude is a beast. His calves look like pineapples. Like he's just a big, massive
yet he
dude,
doesn't
man.
yet he doesn't look all that big next to you, Trax.
It is weird. It is weird. Somebody was joking that I made Spice Adams look like a small spice rack or something funny.
Yeah.
There's my there he is. There's Harbaugh. There's Izzy Adonijay. Super cool, chill, really fun guy. Makes you laugh. So cool, man. All these guys are chill, man. They're so great, man. That's my weird picture of like that's just like a creeper picture of Harbaugh of me, dude. It's like
Hey,
everybody was talking to him, so I didn't have a chance. That's where go back one that before that's where I was doing the presser. And listen, Cleet, you already probably know, like an early bird catches the worm, right? So all the guys were getting there and they were putting all of their cameras and their mics at like noon.
The best vantage point, absolutely best audio.
And it started at 2. It started at 2, so I was like, I'll show up about 1:30. I'll be good. I got in there. We were packed in like sardines. Like before COVID was the last time they did this, Brandon, and they did it at the high school. So there's a lot more, you know.
And I just want to say, Bearski just made a point in the chat here. He said that now that's an experience. You sat in a seat that was still warm from the ass of Michael Jordan. That's something to write home about, man.
Jesus, yeah. I wonder if you can buy that. I wonder if you can buy that chair, Trax.
Yeah, you should just take it at home, Trax.
Yeah. Can you sign this chair for me? Hey, well, here's the deal. That's the last media pass I'm getting, pal.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, why didn't you give me an autograph? I'm like, dude,
that's where it goes back to.
This chair still smells like him. All right.
All right.
Hey, dude, did you guys see that picture of me and Caleb? Like, well, not me and Caleb, but Caleb was on the bench near Cole Kmet, and like I've got a bunch of pictures, guys. Bunch of pictures. I was there at the game. I actually met Cliff. There's what's her name from NFL Network. That's yeah. Man.
Is that Sam Pounder? No.
No. The Laura or Lauren?
Yeah, Laura. Laura Rutledge, I believe.
Yeah, Rutledge. Yeah, I met her. She was looking for Misty. Got to take a picture. Big fan of her. That is Buckis's kid, Matt Buckus. He was there.
Oh, yeah, boy. Yeah. Talk about boy. Chip off the old block. My goodness.
Tough year for him.
Yeah.
It really.
He and his family are hanging in there. It was good to have him there, I'm sure, in Canton for everyone. You were talking about it too, about how powerful, the Mongo finally getting across the goal line to finish this long, grueling journey to the Hall of Fame. But Coop, Trax, when you look at this, you talked with you were with all of his teammates. You were with Mike Singletary. You were with Jim McMahon. You were with Richard Dent. You were with all of his brothers. Yeah. Can you, from your vantage point, seeing how moved they were watching their brother finally take his rightful place in the NFL's House of Legends, what did that mean, do you think, personally, to the brothers that he played with, but also Bears Nation, because we've taken this entire ride. You have taken our CSP family on this ride for 2 years as we've tried to get him in Canton. What does this mean for everyone to finally finish the longest Hall of Fame ride that I can ever remember? I don't think anyone's had to go through a long, grueling fight the way Mongo has.
First off, Cliff, it was an honor and a privilege to meet you and your wife. You guys are amazing people. I wish we could have had more time, but yeah, it was. So the ride was breathtaking. I've never seen a brotherhood, a family, that Team Mongo, like, just galvanize and just be there as a unit, as a force, and just continue to pour love, adoration, and just, prayers were coming in. I mean, it was like like they kept saying over and over and over through all of these, when they had their talks, when they had their speeches, all 7 of the class of 2024. Basically, it takes a village, and Team Mongo is like the biggest village I've ever been a part of. It was just as close as a brotherhood as when I was in the military, in the Navy, or my own personal family, and just all the support. Not just in any time you heard like them talk, Mongo, and then they just were just like Mongo, and bear down, and just all the, it was special, man. Like, I can't even, Cleat, I wish I had your vocabulary to put it into words of what happened and what took place, because it was just a whole lot of like wow and mouth wide open moments. I was just like, whoa. But it was just super cool, man. And then Misty and their daughter Macy, during the dinner and all of that, the gold jacket dinner, to them finally have their moment, and to finally sink in, like, their dad has crossed the finish line. He has fought his fight, and he's hung in there for him and his family and all that, and got to his highest point, his crescendo moment. It was so cool. And I mean, the thunderous applause and everything, I mean, it was unreal. It's like, you think like something is like cool, and it's like way cooler than that. That was that was it, man.
Brandon, let me ask you this.
What's up?
You've been pretty close to Misty and Mongo over the last few years. I know you did the benefit for Mongo. And what did it mean to you personally to be a part of it, to be there? We all love the '85 Bears. We all love Steve McMichael. We all got to watch it on TV. But what was it like to be there for that, to be a part of that after the relationship that you've developed with Misty and Mongo himself?
It was awesome, because like Misty was having moments where, like, she obviously had a lot of friends and family in place, but I made sure, just like when we went every Monday faithfully to help raise money for ALS and for Mongo's nursing fund, every Monday we were there side by side, just like us 3 brothers are right now, right? But we were in public. We were at Bridges Scoreboard and other venues, and we were there for each other when, like, the technical stuff wouldn't work, or we got a little bump in the road or something. And I was like, I'm going to be there for her. I want to make sure, just like when you're a kid, Cleet, like when your kid is at the baseball event or, soccer or something, and you're like, I want her to see that I have her back, that I'm in the stands. And I made sure every time that she had something out there that she saw tracks, and I could tell, like, it meant the world for her, for me to have her 6 and be there for her, just like we did throughout about the 2 years that Cleet was talking about. It was special. It was cool. And I was definitely glad to be a part of it. And I was glad to get the invite. And it was really cool to get the media pass too, guys, because now I get to bring all this. I still would have brought this home for you guys, but there's like obviously like some real special up close pictures that you just can't get without that pass. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah, I would just
Absolutely.
that's a very cool message, Trax, because like what I understand by what you just says, Misty was there representing Mongo, whom she's closest to, but you were there for Misty, and that's awesome. That's awesome for you. It's awesome for CSP and for the rest of us too, man.
Well,
Yeah.
and I just want to take it once. I want to add to that. I was there, obviously 110%, always there for Mongo. My mom passed in 09, died of cancer, and I said if I could ever find something, and like, we struggle as just normal dudes, like how am I ever going to be able to what I have make a difference? And I really think that if you're listening, like you really can make a difference. It just one little seed of hope, one little seed of, hey, I got your back. Let's do this. And I had no idea what I was getting into. A lot of times I wanted to quit, but I wouldn't. The quit is not in my DNA. You guys know that. But you have those moments, right? And you hit those walls. You miss your family. You're taking time away from them. You're taking time away from making money. Those bills are piling up, and you just keep pushing them back. And now this year, I'm trying to make it all back and all this kind of stuff. But it was all about for Mongo. It was all about helping him because Mongo always had that voice. Mongo always entertained us. He always played for us. He was always there for us. And it was now that he lost his voice, I found my voice, and Misty found her voice, and I helped her find her voice. And it was so cool that I was able to be a part of that because, I just want you guys to know you can do that even at the smallest setting within your families and friends or whatever. You could be that voice for somebody that's battling. I know Cleet personally, you know what I'm talking about, being there for somebody that's real close to you, and always being there for the voice and just, support and just having that rock. Because
Yeah.
sometimes that's all they need is just to see you and for you to listen and just be there, so
Absolutely.
it's,
We are all in the tracks, as you said, one big team, one big
yeah,
brotherhood, big family, and one big Bears nation. And as you said, without question, Mongo was the emotional story for Bears fans throughout the Hall of Fame weekend tracks. But you also got to spend a lot of time with the greatest return man in NFL history as he took his
yeah.
rightful place in Canton, the Windy City Flyer, Devin Hester. And you saw the emotion, I think, in his induction speech. You saw the emotion, as he hugged his family, his brothers, his fellow, his teammates, his coaches. From your perspective, what did it mean to Devin? We knew, well, you and I, Brandon, we knew from all the way back in 2006, this kid was eventually going to end up in Canton. But from your perspective, what did this mean to Devin? I mean, was this the validation? He's never been driven by this tracks, but was this the validation he needed for everything he did in his career?
I really think it was, and what really stood out to me was his faith. He, even if you look on Instagram, he quotes Isaiah 54:17, 17. Any weapon formed against me, and again, I'm just quoting stuff. I am terrible with words, okay, but anything formed, a weapon formed against me will not prosper, something along those lines. There were a couple times in his career, and I will upload this. I'm going to give it to Bearsky. We've already talked about me sending this over via email and him trying to cut it up and do what he does with his editing and stuff, and then we'll be able to present it to you guys on another show. There'll be other things going on, but basically, and I can't do these guys any bit of service by trying to explain to them in my terms what they were saying, but it's very powerful, man, especially if I still remember it. And basically, there were times where he wanted to be a receiver, he wanted other things, and he was like, he gave a really good powerful illustration, like, hey man, whatever God has for you, embrace it and take it on and just perfect your craft. And that's what he did as a returner, and he just leaned into it. He wasn't like sour grapes where, oh, I don't get to be a receiver, I don't get to be a defensive back or anything that he wanted to do like wholeheartedly. And it's just crazy how he turned that into good, and he turned it into amazing, and now he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So it meant a lot to him. It meant a lot to his village, his family, his friends. I mean, he brought a posse, man. Willis brought a posse. Everybody that was there. Dwight Freeney brought a posse. But back to Hester, man, his family is so super cool. I know you guys have seen highlights of him, Brandon, on Instagram, of him running the football with the football and, you know, all that kind of stuff. His kid is a real deal too. He spoke words of like just from the heart about all his kids and his wife. Oh my gosh. I wish I could talk to my wife the way he does. We'd never be in fights and stuff. You know, he was like super chill about everything. I mean, this guy's a great guy. And what's weird is his family's so super cool. Like, you're halfway listening to him and then watching them too. So like, that's how cool they are. You know what I mean? The boys and stuff. And he was talking about his oldest boy, where like he would see a kid that's being picked on with special needs or something, and he wouldn't join in on it. He would get everybody away from that kid, and he would say, hey, you know, stop that, you know, and make him feel like he always wanted people to feel like they weren't alone. Like, he always went to those people and helped them out. And he's like, I love you. You have a heart. You're my guy. And his kid was just like his dad, because his dad couldn't stop the waterworks, man. His kid, Devin's a crier, man. And so is his kids. It was super cool, man.
Yeah,
So,
I've met a lot of Chicago athletes in public settings. I met Devin Hester at a Best Buy, and by far he was the most embracing. Like, he didn't mind just shooting
yeah.
the shit for a little bit, which was really cool. Trucks, I got to ask you this in regards to the Hall of Fame and watching
Yeah.
two very much Bears players be inducted, and one, Julius Peppers, who's probably viewed as a Panther, but had a really good career on the Bears as well, a good tenure, I should say. Who do you feel the Bears' next Hall of Famer should be in regard? Like, we're probably looking at guys like Charles Tillman and Lance Briggs. Who do you think the next Hall of Famer is going to be?
Well, Cleet, if you could pull that picture up of us, that would be awesome, because I really do think it would be him. There's so many of them. I'd really like Jay Hilgenberg for obvious, you know, reasons,
Peanut?
because, but yeah, it would definitely be Peanut for sure. That's Frank Gore, running back for the Niners. Yeah, there's chill Peanut, dude. And he was all ears, man. As soon as I start talking to him, he was laser focused, man. It was super cool. I let him know as a vet first and foremost, even before I showed him my media pass. I think it would be him, man. He changed the game forever, similar to what Devin did. I don't know if his numbers are quite there, Cleet, within reference to other D-backs, you know, all time and stuff, you know. Because I saw Darrelle Revis. He's already, you know what I'm trying to say. He's already in the Hall of Fame. So if you look at his numbers versus that, I don't know, you know.
Right.
But
Yeah,
just for
exactly.
me, it'd
It's
be
you
him.
know, and the thing about Peanut too, you know, you look at the Peanut Punch revolutionized the way that, you know, defensive players, you know, try to force fumbles and all. And of course, his career too, Trax. I mean, he's serving a higher good now too. He can't tell us about it, but he is working for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, as we know, keeping Chicagoland safe. So yeah, what he could have done with a couple more years, without question. My gut feeling is, Strax, we will eventually see him in Canton down the road. I think the Veterans Committee, the guys who played, eventually will get him in. Unfortunately, it's going to be a wait. I don't know if it's going to be along his mind goes, but probably will be a wait, but we'll get him in there. All right,
Cleet, look at all these guys, bro. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Look at all those Bears,
crazy.
bro. I got a picture.
Oh my goodness. How about Lovey? How about Lovey looking good? Oh my goodness.
Lovey looks great, bro. And you want to talk about the love for Lovey. Dude, when you talk about, like, this guy wasn't even one of the Hall of Famers. He wasn't even Michael Jordan. Dude, you want to talk about, because there was a lot of Houston Texans, you know, because Andre Johnson, he was the very first ever Houston Texan to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so they showed out, but the Bears, the Bears fans, they were everywhere, bro. I mean, they were packed to
Yeah,
the gills all
it
week
looked
long.
like watching the Hall of Fame game. There had to be 10,000 there. Just if
So
I
when they
could,
were cheering, when they were cheering Lovey on, it was thunderous. It was amazing. It was crazy,
Hey,
bro.
hey, Trex, real quick, while we're still in the Hall of Fame game and your weekend in Canton, I was told, and I want to know if this is the case, I was told that you met a couple of CSP followers, a couple subscribers of ours, like Cliff.
Yeah, I met Cliff. Yeah, Cliff
Okay,
and his wife. Yeah,
very cool, man. Shout out to those guys. It's
yeah,
yeah,
they're
absolutely.
very
Cliff,
nice,
what you
very
represent.
personable. If you
Yeah.
meet them, definitely take some time. And it was an honor and privilege to meet these guys. And they came. He texted me. He says, "Where you at?" I told him. He's like a salesman or something. So he's like he found his way like with a, he found his way through security and just made it like made it his place, and he got in there. I don't know why he left, because once you're in, you should stay. But it was great, Cliff. Hey, by the way, Cleet, I have homework for you and Brandon. If you guys could help me decipher who all these Bears are. I know there's some coaches in there, right?
Yeah.
But I think is that Tobe? Is that Tobe over there? And then the guy that's leaning over with the tan shirt, is that Iabendagio maybe?
I think so. Does that look like to you, Brandon?
I'm not sure the guy in the center is. I know he's next to Jerry Azuma. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Zoom.
He looks like a poor man's Matt Forte, to be honest. I'm not
Mhm.
sure who's.
Matt Forte was there, bro. I don't know if he's in the pick, but I did see Forte.
Yeah.
He was much thinner. But yeah, back to what Cleet said. Lovey looked great, man, and the thunderous ovation for
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Lovey. You guys would have loved it, man,
I
because you
love it,
got it
man.
from Houston. You
I'd
got
go
it
to
from
battle. I'd go to
there.
battle with that crew any day of the week, fellas, and twice on Sunday, without question.
Yeah, right, Brandon, you were right. That is Iambedejo.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, it's a tremendous work, Trax. We were to have you there to be our man in Canton, bringing history to us. Outstanding work, my friend. All right, fellas, lots going on. As we know in Bears Nation, without question, the chef officially enters the NFL kitchen, fellas. Are you ready for this? We are only 14 hours and 27 minutes away from the official NFL game debut of one Caleb Williams. This segment of Chicago Sports Podcast entitled "The Chef Enters the NFL Kitchen" is brought to you by the official fantasy sports partner of Chicago Sports Podcast, Underdog Fantasy. Get in the game today at underdogfantasy.com. Now, gentlemen, get your menus ready, for the chef has officially entered the NFL kitchen. As we mentioned, Caleb will make his NFL game debut in tomorrow's high noon showdown with the Buffalo Bills in upstate New York. Now, as we know, Caleb only knows how to shoot one way, fellas, and that's for the moon. His career goal, of course, is to beat his idol of some GOAT known as Tom Brady for the most Super Bowl championships in NFL history. Now, to prepare himself for mankind's greatest undertaking since the building of the Panama Canal, Caleb is prepping, training, and eating just like number 12. Now, he's modeling his lean, low-fat diet, Brandon, after Tommy B, hoping that the T12 plan will keep his body at an optimal performance level for the unforgiving NFL grind, which treats quarterbacks like legendary glam rock band Motley Crue used to treat hotel rooms. If I could start off, Brandon, I'm going to shoot this question to you off the shoot. Big game Brandon Duplessis, has an NFL rookie ever been more prepared for his preseason debut than the chef?
No, I don't think so. I just because, well, maybe an NFL rookie probably, but an NFL a first overall pick, no, not at all. You're talking about a team that won 7 games last year, and after that did nothing but add talent over the offseason, because the head chef in that kitchen is Ryan Poles, and he's put together quite a roster. And Caleb has the swag. He's the guy who, I mean, he's got the tools to do it, to to be the most impactful rookie maybe in NFL history. I really believe that. Um, and this is probably the biggest. Tomorrow is probably the biggest day. I mean, Bears fans are gonna remember this forever. But no, I don't believe that an NFL rookie, a first overall pick, a quarterback especially, has ever been this prepared for success. And I think, in regards to being a Bears fan and a podcaster and an analyst and whatever else you want to call me, kudos to Ryan Poles. I mean, we've put a guy in a situation he couldn't be more comfortable in.
Yeah, he's definitely been put in the right situation. You got to think. Now, Trax, want to get your perspective. Can Caleb's emulation of number 12 be a double-edged sword, Trax? Is he setting an impossible bar for himself, or is this the mindset that Caleb needs to have to break the Bears' 80-year plus franchise QB drought?
I think it's already built in with him. I mean, some guys you kind of want to, be over them, and just they need a lot of attention, and a lot of work, in order to get them. I don't think Caleb needs that. I think he still needs some direction. I like. Did you guys watch the HBO Hard Knocks with him and
Yeah,
Flus and that Saban and all that? I
yeah,
thought,
it was impressive.
he's got like the right template. Like, Flus has the right template, standing behind his quarterback, being there with him, showing him what he sees and being positive about it every step of the way. And I like what Saban said, as far as Peyton Manning goes, he threw like 28, 29 touchdowns, 28, 29 interceptions. He like the most interceptions thrown by a rookie, and his first year wasn't, his best year. It was his worst year. But he showed, signs of improvement. He showed signs of, getting it and all of that kind of stuff, and leadership and whatever. I think even if he has that that type of performance as Peyton did, and not quite the performance that the quarterback from Houston does, because he gets, compared to him,
DJ
quite.
Stroud.
Yeah, CJ, thank you. I think you definitely, this is a great question. It is a double-edged sword. I think that would have to be from inside the locker room, and the coaching staff. They would probably see it the most. For us, we're so hungry. I'm sure Brandon and you also will agree with this, Cleat. We want to just, in the mighty words of that was that coach from the Raiders, just win, baby. We want it. Yeah, we want it. We want it right now. But with this, the truth be told, like Saban was saying, you just want some progress, not perfection, And I think that's where we have to temper our expectations, and just, is he getting it? And is he being a leader? And I saw some of that in the Hard Knocks, where a guy was talking to him, and he was like, "Hey man, you got the keys, drive, tell these guys, talk to them, And I see some of that. I don't think he's like quiet with his tongue, but I like how everybody's trying to chip in and help him out. You know what I'm saying, Brandon? It's not just one guy or whatever. It's the teammates. And when you see all that, guys, I think everybody knows that he has something. You know what I mean? Because you don't just pour in to a guy that is not getting all that. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, dude. I'm wasting my time.
In regards to preparedness as well, Cleet, he's probably faced the most adversity by a collegiate prospect that's ever entered the NFL. I mean, the guy made $10 million as a college student, and he's faced all the, I think, hate that a person. I mean, like, the guy painted his nails, and it was the morning news the next day. You know what I mean? So he's done a lot of things that not everyday college athletes are going to do before they enter a pro league. And in regards to his diet, I know that he said on ESPN when he was interviewed by Stephen A. Smith, the TB12 diet is really just for longevity. He said that he called Tom Brady himself, and Tom Brady told him, this is how you're going to prolong your career, because you're going to get hit. And a guy like Caleb's going to get hit more than Tom did,
Yeah, well, particularly early in his career. Hey, Trax, let's talk about recent concerns that have come out about Caleb's progress from Hallis Hall. The Bears' #1 offense hasn't had a great week of practice as they prepare for the Bills. They struggled moving the ball mightily against the Bears' #1 D. And this was a defense, Trax, that was missing Montez Sweat and Andrew Billings on Wednesday. On Wednesday, Williams completed just 2 passes during 11-on-11 drills. And listen to this from our good friend Josh Schrock of NBC Sports Chicago, Trax. He said Wednesday's padded affair at Hallis Hall might have been the low point of training camp for Williams and the first team Bears offense. The Bears offense barely moved the ball in multiple team periods. Do you have any concern going into tomorrow's game when he's going to take his first live action against, even if it's the Bills' number 2 second line defense, a very good defensive unit?
So when I was talking to Kevin earlier today, he was saying that it was basically like, as far as the media goes and other people, they were already preparing and getting ready and flying out to Buffalo, right? Mm-hmm. So really nothing could be done then because everybody's on the road. I think Wednesday is part of that. They're obviously trying to dress and get everybody prepared for this Saturday for a certain amount of reps or series. I don't know if anyone has. There's a projection of 1 quarter for this game.
Yeah.
Then the next game, 2 quarters, and then wrap them in bubble tape for game 3, and then let them sit 3 weeks and then get ready to start week 1. So right. I don't think like we really saw all of that. Obviously, if Montez wasn't there, they were doing the same thing on the offensive side of the ball too, where maybe not everybody was there also. I think there goes the tempered expectations too of where you see and what's actually happening there out on the field. I really feel they'll dress their best 5 as far as the offensive line goes. Cleat, I think the only thing that I have is a built-in side thing is can Caleb prove to us that he can get rid of that ball faster than he used to? And I think he can because he's got so many weapons to help him get rid of that ball faster. Yeah. But if you are in training camp, you're not going to have all those weapons in front of you all the time, are you, Brandon? It's not going to happen, dude. So, you might see Colin out there and a couple other guys maybe, but you're not going to see all of your starting 3 wide receivers and Cole Kmet and all that stuff, guys,
No, and it does play a little bit concern for me that the offense has really never won a day, so to speak, in training camp. But like you said, Drax, the offensive line hasn't been playing, and it kind of explains itself because, like, I'm reading these reports that DeMarcus Walker and Dominic Robinson have had huge training camps. Well, it's like, well, that makes sense because the guys who are supposed to be protecting Caleb haven't really been there.
Right.
I would like to hear a little bit. This is when it's really going to start to roll. So we'll see after this preseason game if the offense gets a little better. But then let's not forget, Caleb Williams. I expect offensive struggles. This doesn't surprise me at all. It's a new coach, new offensive coordinator. Sorry, new quarterback, new running back, 2 new receivers starting. So yeah, I expect offensive struggles. And then you got to remember, even in practice, these guys, this Bears team, especially under Eberflus, they're going to give it their all, even in practice. He's playing a really solid defensive team, right? I mean, this is an incredible secondary that Caleb Williams is going to have to grow with. And, Keenan was asked, who's the most impressive player to you on this Bears defense? And he said, I haven't won against Jaylon Johnson once. I haven't caught a pass. So, I mean, these guys are they're going to cover, they're going to hit, they're going to come after him. They're not going to, guys like Dominic Robinson who are really fighting for their roster spots are going to prove they can get to Caleb Williams. And if it's against backup offensive linemen, they're definitely going to capitalize, right?
Yeah.
Cleet, let me ask you a question after Brandon just said that, bro. Wouldn't you be more worried if the defense have struggled over Caleb and company?
Absolutely.
Like Brandon just said, we're going against a top 5 defense every time. So iron sharpens iron. They're going to make that offensive better. And like Brandon just said, we barely have any of the team as far as the offense goes that was there last year. Like, there's way more stability on the defensive side of the ball than the offense,
Yeah, absolutely, Trax. And you think about it, if Caleb was torching these guys every week, every single practice, I mean, that would be what we'd be leading with tonight. Like, what are we going to do with this defense? Where is this great top 10 unit that we had? But the fact that we barely talked about the defense over the last couple of weeks, that's a great sign. That's a great sign about how improved these guys already are, Trax. and how ready they are to take things over once we get to the regular season. Now, Chex, let's go. We're going to flip to the offensive line now. I want to get your perspective on this. This next segment of Chicago Sports Podcast, friends, is called the Teven Dilemma, and it's brought to you by River Street Tavern in East Dundee, where kids eat free every Thursday night from 4 to 7, and you will always have the best sports time and dine of your week. That is River Street Tavern, ladies and gentlemen, East Dundee. Tracks, knock on wood. Let's get a lot of wood. Teven Jenkins, the Bears must keep healthy left guard, is still healthy, as we enter about week 3 of camp here now. But no one in Chicagoland, as you know, Trax, is holding their breath that will remain a constant, as Teven has been battling injuries his entire career. Trax, Teven is essential to the Bears' weekly production plan for Caleb. How important is it for him, for the stability of this offense, which has so many more question marks that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, for him to have his first injury-free season of his career, not only to the effectiveness of this offensive line, but ultimately the health and durability of Caleb Williams, Trax?
I think it's very huge. I think it speeds volume for his work ethic, preparing, being there. I think you guys have seen this where he's one of the first, if not the first guy to show up. And as far as leadership goes, he's showing Nate the Great or Nate the Ain't to, hey, I'm showing up, you show up too. You know what I mean? So I think it's very important for him to be out there and being, like just showing it by what he does, through his actions and his works, that he's out there getting it, and you should be there with me. And like Teven said, if Caleb is there tomorrow, I want to block for his ass, and that's where I'm at with our offensive line. I want to hear that. I want to see that. I want to, because you guys have played before. There's a difference between hurt and injury. And a lot of times some people are calling injury hurt, like soft tissue with this Nate thing. I mean, when you've got something in the building, you play through those hurts. You know what I'm saying, guys? And you find ways, like Devin was talking about, Hester, he was talking about the ice, the ice bath for extra period of time, and all these kind of things to help. Dwight was talking about his toe that he hurt and how he had to hurry up and fast forward in order to get ready to whoop our butts in the Super Bowl. I wish he wouldn't have done that, but he did. And, and I think this is where it comes, where like Nate and then some of these other guys really, and the Eagle, I guarantee you the Eagle, bro, he's going to be ready. He fights. He's a fighter, man. I love this Eagle guy. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he has really come on strong without question. I think he's going to make this team and maybe work his way up the depth chart. Brandon, I want to get your thoughts on this. You've talked about it with Sean and the boys. I know Pinky's talked about it as well. Caleb is a different type of quarterback. He brings a different skill set to the huddle than we've had before. Even the Justin Fields, who really struggled tonight, as Cliff brought up in his debut for the Steelers. He requires an athletic, multi-skilled lineman, Brandon, to protect him, for him to be effective. I want to get your confidence level right now, Brandon, going into tomorrow in the Bears O-line as it stands right now, to keep Caleb on his feet in the huddle and at his performance best week in and week out. And the reason I ask you this, Brandon, right now is Bleacher Nation's Louis Medina reported today that the Bears are monitoring the market for offensive line help. Where are we on a confidence level from where you sit, Big Game Brandon Duplessis? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your confidence level in this Bears offensive line? And will this Bears offensive line be very different once we get to the September 8th opener against Tennessee?
Yeah, well, real quick on the Teven Jenkins thing, guys. I also want to say this in regards to him having a healthy season. Ryan Poles told him contract negotiations won't continue until the bye week. Okay. So that's Poles' message to him, that you need to stay healthy. But my confidence level, Cleet, is not very high. And I'm going to be honest, I've been given grief for this on this podcast. I wasn't high on this offensive line during the offseason. I don't like that they made one move. That's Ryan Bates, and he was primarily a guard in the last season, the final season he played with the Buffalo Bills. So I don't think that they improved greatly. And I also think you've got a lot of guys. There's a lot of ifs, as Dustin said, on this offensive line. I do know that the deal they gave DJ Moore, the details have kind of started to come out, and I guess it gave them $7 million to spend in salary cap. So I do believe that Poles probably has an insurance plan here because, and I'm going to be the first to say this, guys. I haven't heard anybody say it, so I want to say this now on CSP tracks. I want this to be like reel this out, okay? Kiran Amagaji was signed or was drafted knowing he'd be injured, and a lot of people are looking at as a possible replacement for Braxton Jones, a left tackle, maybe a right tackle. If they ever believe Darnell Wright could move over, but he played his entire sophomore year at right guard. I don't find that to be a coincidence. I think the Bears know they have trouble at that position. Nate Davis doesn't seem to be a reliable player, and when he is on the field, he's not very good. At least from what I've seen, I'm not a fan of Nate Davis. If Karan gets healthy before the season starts, he's going to get some snaps during this training camp and preseason at right guard. I really, really believe that. But sorry to go on the rant. To answer your question, Cleet, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in this offensive line right now. Not on paper, but especially not with the health concerns we've already had reported.
Yeah, it's boy, it's definitely worrisome. Hey, big shout out to our friend Dustin Jones. Dustin, thanks for chiming in. It's good to see you again, my friend. Brandon, or Tracks, let's kind of piggyback off what Brandon's talking about. You mentioned about the problems with Nate Davis. Right now, does Nate make this team? Is he part of the final 53-man roster, Tracks?
I don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you. I think it sounds like there's undertones of frustration
Yeah.
with the coaching staff, but I don't think that he's definitely on best terms with the coaches. I haven't heard anything from the players of you guys, but I do know that if you got guys like Teven out there, and some of these guys are fighting through, hurts and stuff, that can't be a good look because, talking to some of the 85 Bears, Dent came out and he was told by Buddy Ryan, well, not Dent, but Hampton was told by Buddy Ryan to ride his coat, like basically mentor him and get his foot in his butt and make something out of him because he wasn't going to last long because he came in really lazy. And you saw what happened when the team, got behind him and, basically, held him accountable. So I'm hoping something like that happens with Nate. I hope it's, in-house and we can get something out of this guy. Because I think, was it Dustin the other day? He's like, well, you could release him, but I mean, you already paid him, so you're not going to get anything out of that.
You wouldn't gain much salary. His hit on the salary cap wouldn't be substantial till next season. That would be the
so if he wants to play and he wants to be a part of this thing that's happening, and it's not going to get any better, getting cut from a team that desperately needs offensive linemen. Like, that's not a good look for you. So you've got to turn it around because he went from the Titans to the Bears. It's not a good look. So the only thing that he has, if he wants to continue to play, is to tighten up and play through hurts. And, you know what I mean? That's what I have for you, Cleve.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, fellas. But look, if he's not the best man on the 53, man, I don't know whether you send him to the practice squad. Whatever you have to do to light a fire under this guy, because like you said, with the money we've already paid and with what's on the line, and he's a professional. We know he wants to be the best offensive lineman he can be, but he's just not there right now. All right, fellas, let's go right into the Bills. As we mentioned before, fellas, we are just doing my math here, 14 hours and 5 minutes away from the high noon kickoff with the Bills. That game will be on the NFL Network and NFL Plus. The Bears will be running with Wild Buffaloes tomorrow, friends. This segment of CSP is brought to you by the home of delicious summertime, Serendipity Ice Cream Parlor in Griffith, Indiana. Brandon, we have more questions than a week's worth of Jeopardy episodes for Saturday's preseason showdown. Josh Allen and the Bills. So let's go no huddle right now. I want to get your quick slant answers and also yours, Tracks, on these pressing questions that we have going into the Bears' second preseason test tomorrow. Big game, Brandon Placey. Let's start with you with a question all Bears fans will be wondering tomorrow. How many snaps does Caleb play tomorrow, and how effective will he be in his NFL game debut?
I really think it's based all around how well that offensive line holds up, and depending how many pieces are actually going to be there. But I'm going to say right now one drive. So
One
not
drive?
not it's not going to be a snap count. I think it's going to be based on drives. I don't think they're going to pull him in the middle of a drive. They're going to let him finish the drives. I do believe that he plays one drive. I think they're hoping that he scores, and then especially if he scores on the first drive, then they'll remove him from the game.
Yeah, it's smart money there too. Obviously, so much more important football is down the road for Caleb. Hey, Trax, let's talk a little bit about Rome Odunze. We know about the speed. We know about how he can change games in so many different ways. When we see him tomorrow, Trax, will he be the number 3 receiver or the Z receiver in his NFL game action debut? And also, could you possibly see, Trax, the Bears utilize his speed by maybe testing him out as a punt returner?
Man, as tempting as that is, and it sounds great, right, boys? I think it's emergency maybe, but I don't know if that's your first look, because you would really not want to put him in a situation to, I mean, that's expensive. Maybe not as far as money goes, but his whole trajectory, how high we drafted him, the fact that we could have got insurance and protection for Caleb, but we gave him a weapon that he could learn from Keenan and DJ. There's a lot invested in him if you really look into it. I don't know if he's going to be the first read as far as a punter. I want to say, what do we got, Cleet? You're pretty good with this. We got like 3 or 4 guys already.
Bayless Jones and Ian Wheeler are the two big names. Yeah.
Right.
There's got to be more. There's got to be more than that, boys. I could have sworn
Dante Pettis is actually listed as the 3rd.
There you go.
Just like Brandon says right now, Dante is listed as the 3rd. On the Bears' current 2 deep. So it goes Bayless Jones, Dante Pettis, kick returning, Jones first, Tyler Scott second. It's something that I agree with you, Trax. The injury risk there too. You think about putting Roman in a situation that he can do, but is not his specialty now. Is definitely an issue. Hey, Brandon, let's go to Keenan Allen. Outside of Teven Jenkins, no one is campaigning for a new Bears contract harder than the All-Pro ride-out we just picked up from San Diego. He's made it known that he wants to stay in Chicago long-term. Will we see Allen and Caleb kind of test their chemistry tomorrow together? Is there a chance we could see that in tandem, try to maybe go deep on at least one pass? Or
I think it's possible. I truthfully believe that the starter you're going to see the least of is going to be Keenan Allen. That is a guy with a little bit of injury history. I believe he's the oldest player on the starting roster for the starting offensive roster. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't view Keenan Allen as a deep threat. I think of the 3 receivers, Odunze, Allen, and Moore, he's probably the least likely to be a guy who's going to go catch a deep ball. Even Tyler Scott, I'd probably place before him.
Right.
But I do think they're going to want to see Williams' ability to rely on Keenan Allen as an insurance policy, right? Because from by all measures, from every source we've read, I think Williams is going to be under pressure a little bit tomorrow, even if it's just for one drive. He is going to get rushed. It's going to be the first time he's allowed to actually get hit, right? It's going to be the first time he's going to be pursued by an actual defender. So I would imagine you want to see Keenan Allen catch those 3rd down passes, be that insurance policy when Caleb feels the heat. I think they want to test that more than they do seeing Keenan Allen try to break it over the top.
Yeah, I agree completely, Brandon. Hey, folks, want to let you know, it's getting hot over at Guaranteed Rate Field. Hector Neris has loaded the bases, Cubs
Yeah,
with a 7-6
just
lead,
saw
2
that.
out, bottom 9. We'll keep you posted on that. Tracks, moving back to the Bills for tomorrow. Velas Jones is roster seat right now. Tracks might be actually hotter than Death Valley, where it's been averaging between 125 and 130 degrees each day.
Damn.
Tracks, he will get reps tomorrow at running backs also as the Bears try to unlock his blistering 4.31 second 40-yard dash speed, which in my opinion is what's keeping him on the roster right now. Tracks,
Absolutely.
is this a show up without a job in September kind of game for Velas? What does he need to show the Bears tomorrow?
I mean, I think it goes back to what, Devin was saying. It's fresh in my mind, so I'm gonna hit it, But when you're given an opportunity, you make the best of it. And right now that he's tried on a couple different hats and they're not really working for him, or he's dropping those hats or whatever, I think that he has to do something with this. I already thought that we had a loaded backfield. I honestly did. I thought we had enough running backs, but apparently they're going to give this guy a shot. So yeah, Clete, I think he needs to act right. I think he needs to catch on quick. Did you know if he even has any background, Brandon or Clete, in running back?
Oh, he's done a little bit for the Bears, not collegiately, but he's done a little bit for the Bears. He's a gimmick play guy. He's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
I don't. This doesn't surprise
So
me. They're
so
going to try
so
to keep him on the field. He's going to play
so
a
is
lot in the
it
preseason.
So is this going to be lined up in the backfield, or is he going to be
Yeah.
lined up as a receiver, like jet sweep type thing, or
No,
what's going on?
he'll probably be standing next to a quarterback in shotgun, I'm guessing, and
Yeah.
Because that's a different look and that's a
it'll be.
different feel.
I would imagine he's an RPO guy. You want to
Yeah.
give him the possibility of catching the ball in the backfield because
Yeah.
in open space is when he's most effective. I don't
Okay.
see him being like a downhill I formation runner because he just doesn't have the build for
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
But
the Bears are definitely giving him a honest shot to try to make this team without question. Fellas, not to get off subject, the Cubs have just closed it out 7-6. Hector Neris rings up the save, so the Cubs are now 3-0 against the Southsiders. For the season, as our good friend Cheryl Chider scoreboard as lets us know. Cheryl, breaking news that the Sox left the bases loaded in a wild ninth inning. For those keeping score at home, the Sox new losing streak is 2. Let's see where this one will end. Hey, getting back to tomorrow, big
Jeez.
game to place against the Bills. Let's talk about Gervon Dexter Sr. What does the defensive tackle need to show us in his 3 technique run stopping ability tomorrow? Does he need to prove that he can finish the job in live situations, Brandon, as Sports Illustrated's Gene Chamberlain writes? He's facing a Bills team that's famous for mixing the pass and run very well.
it's a great question, Clayton. This is the guy that everybody wants to see Caleb Williams as well as I do. I assure you that, guys. I want to see Caleb. This is the player I'm most excited to watch in the preseason. I think he's going to get a few drives on the field, and he just needs to be, Clayton, he just needs to be a presence.
Yeah.
He needs to wreak havoc. I think that's what they want to see. A 3 technique obviously needs to be, have the ability to play the run and fill the gaps, but he has got to get in the backfield with Montez Sweat being your only elite pass rusher. I think the Bears have literally hung this entire defensive line on the idea that Dexter might take the next step and become that wrecking ball from because Ryan Poles always says the closest guy to the quarterback is the defensive tackle, right? That's the shortest line from defense to quarterback. They need to see him be a presence. He needs to be in the backfield early and often. That's what I think we need to see from Dexter. I don't think it's any jeopardy for him losing his job if he doesn't prove this in the preseason, because he is really their only option at this juncture. But I think for him to solidify the fact that he is their starting 3 tech, he needs to get into the backfield. He needs to get Josh Allen. And I'm not talking about when you're facing backup offensive linemen and backup quarterbacks. They want to see him to create a little discomfort for Josh Allen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a chance for him to show the Bears were right to put that kind of faith in him. So Brandon Tracks, obviously it's preseason games. There are no lines. Everyone's going to remember the final score of tomorrow's game a month from now. But let's go on record because that's what we do. CSP, we're brave, we're bold, we're fearless. Brandon Tracks, give me your final score and also give me your Bears MVP of tomorrow's showdown with the Bills.
Oh boy. Oh, this is a future Uber drivers of America game. So I don't know, man. This is tough. Why you gotta do this to me, Cleet? You did
We
this
are on the
last year,
YouTube. It
man.
will live forever.
The,
So
the
it should be
Bills, the
right for
Bills,
future
the Bills
edition.
the Bills are favored in the game, Trex.
What was that dude? What was that dude that I last year with the long hair that I really dig? The tight end, Jasper, or was
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
the year before?
Jasper.
Yeah, I wish I could. Let's go with somebody brought his name up earlier. Lewis, Mercedes Lewis for the play, or Rippin. I'm gonna go with those two guys. One of them two.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Brandon, big game, Brandon Duplessis. What are you calling tomorrow? And who's your Bears MVP?
The punter.
I'm gonna just based on depth alone. The Bills have had a lot longer than the Bears have had to build depth on the roster. The Bears have done quite a good job at putting together a starting roster, but they're still hurting the depth. I think the Bills win this game because their depth is better, and we're going to see a lot of third string, fourth string guys. So I think the Bills. I guess the score. I'll throw out a random. I'll call it. It's projected to be a high score game. I'm going to call it 24-17 Bills.
Yeah.
But a guy that I think that we're going to see a lot of because he has now been named second string on the roster behind. Well, no, yeah, he is. Zach Pickens is listed behind Billings. Keith Randolph from Illinois, an
Yeah.
undrafted free agent, is listed
Right.
behind Javon Dexter. That's the guy that I'm going to call the Bears MVP.
Yeah, I like it. The underdog fighting a line of player, a lot to play for it. And folks, like Brandon said, I have to apologize. Yeah, the over under on this game is 30.5. Bills are trending as a 2.5 point favorite going into tomorrow. Remember, again, folks, high noon kickoff. The game will be on NFL Network and NFL Plus. Guys, I tell you what, I'm calling Brett Ripien. Brett stepping up. I got Brett hooking up with Colin Johnson against. I got the Bears taking this one
Alan
over the Bills.
Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm talking Colin.
One dude.
it's a
I'm
big
calling
boy.
27-24 Bears tomorrow. Book it.
Hell yeah, Cleve.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys? Hey, did you guys see the? I sent something in the private chat right there. There's I left a little note for you.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, great point. Thanks for
Yeah.
reminding us, folks. A great point there. As Trax just mentioned, how could I forget? Bears made their Hard Knocks debut this week, episode 1. A lot of cool moments. I loved Ray Clay stepping in and giving Caleb the MJ Bulls
Oh, that was the
introduction treatment.
coolest, man.
That was
That was
incredible.
the coolest.
Trax, Brandon, fellas, what was your favorite moment for both of you from episode 1 of Hard Knocks Bears?
I hate
Definitely
to.
the intro.
I hate to be, that guy, but I have to. It was the Eagle moment, dude. It was so
Yeah.
cool.
That-
And I
that
like
hair-
what Flo said. He goes, until you put your pants back on, I don't want no part of that.
the Caleb introduction, man, had the hair standing up, man.
With the Bulls, yeah. The
it's just, I mean, come the guy after that, you gotta live up to it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was incredible. That's no, but the whole thing, it's like we're obviously scratching the surface here, but it's very. I want to see more Ryan Poles, to be honest. That's the thing that I want. I want to see, like Dustin said on Monday Night Show, we watched the Hard Knocks of the Giants, and it was like, what the hell are these guys doing? They're like calling their neighbors to ask, like, should I sign this guy? You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
I want to see the way Poles operates. And but no, that came for the first episode, which was obviously kind of an introductory episode. You never got too deep in anything, but Caleb's intro, man. I mean, somebody who's produced the director director of that show killed that intro. I mean, just bringing the Bulls into it, very cool, very cool. I'm a
Yeah.
big Bulls guy. You guys know that, so that had my heart racing, man.
Yeah, it really was electrifying too. And obviously you get those scripted moments. Nick Saban obviously I don't think pops out of nowhere unless somebody makes a call there too. But and for me, Trax, just like Brandon said, I want to see Ryan Poles at work. I want to see him working the
Yeah.
phones. I want to see him talking to his people. I want to see him evaluating players. I want to see RP stirring the drink.
Yeah, me too. I definitely want to see that. I've got so many things that I want to see. I'm kind of excited to see that punter. I want to see that punter, because we like the
Just real quick, what Dustin just said, the Ordinary People song playing while Caleb struggled. That
Yeah,
was pretty solid too. Those guys, they do a good job of putting a show together, man.
yeah, they
I
do.
want to see the punter because over there with the the Hall of Fame game, I was really like, why wouldn't you dress and start a punter? Like, is it really you really that worried
I'll tell you
about
what,
him
fellas, I've
getting
watched
injured?
for 4 years be not only the punter, but also in a lot of cases the offense for the Iowa Hawkeyes. The punting
Oh,
thunder from down under Tory Taylor.
oh.
You have not seen anything like this guy since another former Iowa punter. You got to go all the way back to the late great Reggie Roby, in my opinion, for the Dolphins back in that mid 1980s. He's
Dolphins, yeah.
Yeah,
everything. He will change everything when it comes to ball position for this team. He's going to be a joy to watch, guys.
season was tight end, punter, Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, Cooper
Right.
DeJean. Yeah,
Eric All, Cooper
yeah.
DeJean, Tory Taylor. Yeah, I'm hoping that like from a land down under, that song kicks in when we see Tory Taylor.
Somebody called the men. Yeah, men. Who said that? Men down under. Some men in hats or something like
Yeah,
that.
men without
Yeah,
hats. Yeah.
men without hats. Let's get
Hey,
some.
Cleat,
Yeah,
can he tackle? Have you seen him tackle?
I tell you, he's got the build for it. He's built like a linebacker, Trax. I tell you what, watch him on. I mean, if he's the last line of defense, he will take that guy out, that returner out before he gets to the red zone for
What do
sure.
you mean by offense? Where he gives the offense to? What are you saying by that?
So this became such a
He
catch.
was their offense.
So
Yeah.
Iowa had no offense last year. I was statistically one of the top 3 worst offenses in NCAA history. So
All
the
time.
Hawkeye
Yeah.
fans got these T-shirts that said "Punting is winning" with Tory Taylor's picture on them with the kicking, and that was the motto. That was how the Hawkeyes got to 8 wins last year because of Tory Taylor. So he became the offense of what he does in field position. Trex, you've never seen anything like him. More.
I have. Hey, you forgot that my buddy Eric graduated from Iowa. I told you this before.
That's true. I forget about that.
He lived in Dubuque. He's actually there right now. He just got into town. I watched every game with him. I thought you were actually talking about offense. I thought I knew, but I wanted to be clear for the show.
He just
if he actually did
offense.
any type of offense.
No.
He just was Iowa's offense because he placed them in
because
good field
they did not have an offense. Most weeks he was the offense there. Hey, fellas, this has been an absolute blast. So great to talk sports with both of you again. Hey, before we call it a night, any big plans for the weekend outside of watching the Bears beat the Bills tomorrow?
So Misty has a she has, I forgot what bar it's at, but I will post it later on. So everybody that's watching, pay attention. She will be at the Bills game, Bears Bills at a bar. They're selling Team Mongo shirts. All the proceeds go to Mongo's nursing fund. They'll be there with Lorenzo from Bear Army, and they're gonna have like a watch party. I think Marquez Sullivan from the Bills, he was a lineman. He'll be there too. I'm not sure if Matt Buckus will be there or anybody else, that's friends with Misty. But it's always a good time if she's around, So
Absolutely. Hey, speaking of a good time, it's always a good time with our buddy, ladies and gentlemen. Look who's chiming in, our good friend Polsky. Hey, my friend, how you doing tonight?
Good, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, good. Hey, but we're just wrapping up, but we can't leave before we get your pick. What's your call for tomorrow's Bears-Bills game?
Man, preseason's all over the place, so you never know. I think it's going to be pretty high scoring.
Yeah.
I mean, just because points are going to be put up, I'll go
38.5. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. So I mean, I don't know. I'll go 24-20. I mean, it'd be a shame if I didn't pick the Bears to win, right? So 24-20 Bears. But yeah, guys, I just hopped on just to kind of quickly upload a little version of one of the new hype videos I came
Yeah.
up with. So if you guys want to end the show with it,
Yeah,
it's up
terrific.
to
Does
you
that,
for sure, man.
that
So
sound good? Polsky, anything with this brand new hype video?
whatever you guys want to do. Yeah, I
Well,
uploaded it.
yeah,
It should be ready to go. So if you guys want
Yeah,
to
I
play
tell you
it,
what,
feel
yeah,
I
free,
will
man.
no,
check
I'm all
it
for
out
it.
here, see if we got it. Yep, I see it right there, the new hype video. And folks, we will leave you with that. This hype video brought to you by Bearski Film from our good friend Polsky. Great work as always. I'm Clean Campbell, your boy from Iowa, along with Brandon, the Punky LT, Trax Hyatt, our man in Canton, who did great work. Big game, Brandon Duplessis, Brandon MVP work as always. And friends, thank you for being part of the voice of the Chicago sports fan. All of our subscribers, Dustin, Cliff, everybody,
Thanks,
Illinois
guys.
Jones, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time on Chicago Sports Podcast, Monsters of the Madhouse. Now let's get you hyped with this brand new, hot off the press Bearski hype video.